All right, so sticking with this topic, when it comes to UFOs, there is no place on Earth that looms larger than Roswell, New Mexico. This is the town that is synonymous with the alleged 1947 UFO crash that is once again the center of the UFO universe. Why? The annual Roswell UFO Festival kicked off today. This thing's incredible. And this year's theme, red, white, and whoa. It's a nod to both Independence Day weekend, America's 250th birthday celebration, and for the next several days, you have thousands of believers, skeptics, and just the plain curious. They're going to flood downtown Roswell for parades, live music, guest speakers, costume contests. It's amazing. Oh, by the way, massive drone show featuring both patriotic and extraterrestrial displays. And who better to take us inside the festival, another friend of the show, Ben Hansen, former FBI agent, host of Discovery Plus's UFO Witness, and again, friend of the show. Good to see you so much. How's the festival? I feel like you're a celebrity there.
Hey, Jesse, there's a lot of energy here. It's actually kind of hard to hear, but you're right. They're here to celebrate the 250th anniversary, but also the 79th anniversary of the Roswell incident. And I've actually made a friend here. This is Joseph. Well, actually Elliot. E.T., my very first movie I remember seeing in the theater, actually got me started into all this. Joseph, what's your favorite movie? Your alien movie? E.T., of course, right? You've been to the museum?
Yeah.
Yeah? And how are you enjoying all this?
It's fun.
Pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you get back to the drone show right above us here.
Okay.
But thank you, buddy. Yeah. Quite amazing, Jesse.
Oh, that looks awesome. I love it. And you know, that's funny you just brought Joseph on, who's adorable. It seems to me, from what I've read about this festival, it's getting bigger. There's more and more interest. I mean, do you get the sense that more people are interested in this now than ever before? And what has been the reaction in the community to what we've seen, let alone this past year? The releasing of the files, the congressional hearings. What are those people that you're around tonight? What are they saying about it?
Well, what's really unique, I think, about this year is that never before have they come this close to, I don't know if big D disclosure is going to happen, but never before have they come this close to having these files and things released to the researchers who spent decades, researching the most iconic alleged crash, in the world, and that we might actually have some documents coming out that verify this. So there's a lot of buzz. I keep saying this every year. But the speakers, the patrons, the people who are coming here, they want information. So it's a really exciting year to be here.
Where you are, Roswell, right? The Roswell incident, 1947, that was arguably the beginning of the UFO interest. Alien craft, bodies allegedly discovered. There's whistleblower David Grush says the government may have alien bodies. The other way of looking at it is, do you think the government would realistically be able to keep all of this a secret for, what, 80 years?
I get asked that question a lot, and my answer is, well, it hasn't been a secret. We're here talking about it, right? And ever since about 1978, when the Roswell event first came to light, I think a lot of these whistleblowers, growing up in a different time, they were threatened with their lives. I remember talking to one of the final witnesses who was still alive, who claimed to having, handled the debris, and she was scared to death. She had kind of like PTSD because she was told as a 12-year-old she'd be taken out into the desert and disappeared if she talked about it ever again. So I think since that time, the people, it's kind of like what we're seeing today, right? The whistleblowers that are coming forward are kind of the canaries in the mine, right? They're waiting to see what happens. And when they found out that no one was being prosecuted, as far as we know, no one disappeared, they finally started to talk about it, and that's what we're maybe seeing now that's happening in Congress.
There's a question if they're going to be granted full immunity to come forward with whatever information or secrets they have, which will be interesting to see. I don't know if you heard my interview with Avi Loeb, but that's a big development. The White House setting up this advisory council on the potential risks, dangers of UFOs, UAPs. Avi's now the lead of it. He's the head of it. What's your reaction to it?
I think it's great. Avi's been part of this, so Dr. Loeb, been part of the conversation for a long time. And he has all those connections. I've been kind of in the thick of it, too, with research on the social impacts. And it's very important. That's what the Disclosure Forum that took place last weekend was about, was not just looking at this as, hey, let's get the information out as quickly as possible. It needs to satisfy evidentiary requirements. It needs to be done correctly, you know, so that it doesn't rock everybody's world as far as religion and economics and all that stuff. So I'm kind of in it for the long-term marathon, as they say, you know, to have it done properly, because we only get one shot at this.
100%. And the world's watching. The American people are watching. They're trying to see if there's going to be a sense of transparency and if they're giving them full story. Circling back to something that you mentioned, maybe now is the time when people feel safe to come forward. I got to mention what we're also talking about. You made a detour trip to Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is where Major General William Neil McCaslin disappeared, one of several people linked to UFO research, military research. It becomes the missing or dead scientist conversation. Why did you make that trip? What did you make of it? And did you learn anything?
I actually did. I came more for personal interest, but I was heavily involved in this, and I have a background actually in search and rescue. And I wanted to see for myself what the kind of terrain and the neighborhood looked like. So northeast Albuquerque is where General McCaslin lived. And what surprised me as I'm going around the neighborhood, first of all, is that, remember the investigators said that they searched, they asked around, they couldn't find anybody who had any doorbell footage of him leaving the home. And having seen the layout and how these are kind of Southwest adobe-style houses, they're not like the house that I have, and you know, on my street, everything's facing the street. A lot of these doorbell cameras are covered by scrubs and bushes, and I could really see how somebody could leave their home and not be picked up on camera. The other thing that I realized is that going just about 1.5 miles from his house, he could have walked in about 30 minutes to the Sandia Mountains, to the beginning of these trailheads. That's the first place they started searching for him. They didn't find any evidence, but I did realize also, whereas most of New Mexico, Albuquerque is just sagebrush and scrub, there's a lot of junipers and oaks, scrub oaks, some thick vegetation. So my concern is that if he did go up there, you know, and they're looking for evidence, and heaven forbid some form of self-harm or, you know, foul play,
right,
it could be a while before they find that evidence.
Yeah, it's a distressing thing to think about. Before I let you go, as I'm looking at all the people around you, one of the topics of conversation is the public ready? Are they ready for the full truth? If there really are extraterrestrials, craft, biological beings, can they handle it? We talked about the markets, we talked about religious sects, you're talking to the people. Can the American people, can the world handle it?
Well, in a nutshell, because I've written papers on this, but in 10 seconds or less, right? It depends. It really depends, because we're talking in an echo chamber here. If you're watching NewsNation because of the UFO topic, you're already interested in it. You have to remember the public, the general public, isn't up to speed. A lot of them haven't even thought about this, and it doesn't take the majority of people to have problems with it for society to have problems. Thanks, man.
See what I mean? Celebrity over here. Ben, thanks so much for coming on. This is awesome. I'm so happy you're a part of this, and you're with this community that's interested in it. I think it's a really important topic of conversation, an area of study, and you're so generous with your time. Ben, thanks so much. And great reporting, our on-scene reporter. I love it.
Thanks, Jesse. We'll see you later.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.